In this video, you'll learn how to problem solve using charts. So for example, here we are told to organize the following in a chart. You're told that a roll of carpet 8 foot wide is 20 feet longer than a roll of carpet 10 feet wide. So when you solve these, or when you set up a table, there's really not one set way to do this, and every question is going to look a little different. But here is one example, and you can use the thought process that we're going to use here and use that for other types of questions you might see. So when you set up a table, you're going to have 2 or more rows depending on what information is given. So here we have information that we have width and we have the length. Alright, so we have width, we have length, and then we have 2 different rolls of carpet. So within this table we need to have width and length, and then we need a first roll and a second roll. So here's a table that I could create. We have first roll and second roll here with row 1, row 2, and then width and length would be the 2 different columns. Alright, so what we do is we fill in the table with information that are given. So the width for the first roll is 8 feet, and the width of the second roll says is 10 feet. And then the length is unknown. Alright, we know that the second roll is 20 feet longer. So actually no, the first roll is 20 feet longer. So if the first roll is represented by L for length, the second roll is 20 feet less than the first roll, because the first roll is 20 feet longer. So the second roll will be the length of the first roll, so L, then minus 20. And we could set this up a different way even, where we have first roll, second roll, width, and length again. The width is 8 for the first, second roll is 10, but we could change the length. So if we let the second roll be represented by L, then the first roll is 20 feet longer than that, which would be L plus 20. So these are both okay setups for the given information. So it's just a matter of which one you prefer. Okay, here's an example where we have to now use the table to set up an equation and then to solve. So here, the information given is the number of calories in an apple and a pear. So a pear contains 30 calories more than an apple, and 10 apples have as many calories as 7 pears. And our objective is to determine how many calories each fruit has. So we have pears and we have apples. So we need apples and pears in our table. And we also know information about the calories. So we know the amount, we're trying to find the amount of calorie per fruit. Alright, so if you know the calories per fruit, so calories per fruit, whatever that amount is, if we multiply that by the number of fruit, that gives me a total. So total calories. So for example, if I had say 50 calories per fruit, and then 4 fruit is 50 times 4, or 200 total calories. And I chose this equation here because we have information about the total calories. We have 10 apples have as many calories as 7 pears. So the total calories is information that we know things about. We know about the total calories right here. Okay, so the only way to get total calories is if we take the calories per fruit and multiply it by the number of fruit. So here's your table. We have apples and pears. We have calories per fruit times the number of fruit equals total calories. So the number of fruit we have here 10 and we have 7. So this is information we can use to determine the calories per fruit. So we have 10 apples, 7 pears, and then for the calories per fruit, we know that a pear contains 30 calories more than an apple. So if A is our apple calories, then A plus 30 would be our pear calories. So we filled in this part of the table. And then the total calories we find by taking the number of fruit times the calories per fruit. So the total calories for apples would be A times 10, or 10 times A, which can be written as 10A. And then the pear, you have A plus 30 times 7, or 7 times A plus 30. Alright, so this would be your table, where we have everything filled in. So from here, I can set up an equation based off information given. So the information that we are going to be looking at is the total calories, because we are told here in part 2, 10 apples have the same amount of calories as 7 pears. So the amount of total calories of 10 apples is the same as the total calories of 7 pears. So I can say that 10A, these total calories for apples, 10A, equals the 7 times A plus 30, the total calories in pears. So this would be my equation that I can solve. So the hard part is getting the equation, all right, and filling in the table. The solving, we should be able to do that pretty well at this point, but make sure you can get this equation. So from here, all we do is we distribute the 7 to the A and the 30. So 7 times A plus 7 times 30. 7 times A is 7A. 7 times 30 is 210. All right. So from here, I need to get the A's on the same side. So I can bring the 7A to the left by subtracting 7A. If I subtract 7A on both sides, on the right, the 7A's cancel. On the left, I have 10A minus 7A, which would be 3A. So we see that right here. 3A on the left, 210 on the right. And then to get A by itself, I need to divide both sides by 3. When I do that, on the left, the 3's will cancel. On the right, 210 divided by 3 gives me 70. So what I have found is that A equals 70, meaning the calories in apples. That's what A was. A was the calories in the apples. That is 70. And the pear, the number of calories is 70 plus 30, which is 100. So we have 70 calories for apples and 100 calories for pears.